This comment said, homegirl is visibly uncomfortable, bruh. Let's go down, look, see what other people had to say after that. This commenter stated, homegirl is visibly uncomfortable, but she was comfortable enough to dress like that in public. Make it make sense.
Angel Reese exploded in frustration as the Chicago sky spiraled into total chaos, and while her star continued to rise, so did the criticism surrounding her. Once a respected franchise, Chicago has now become a shadow of its former self, with many pointing to Reese as the reason behind the team's downfall.
She don't want to be sexualized. Angel Reese has said time and time again, she never wanted to be sexualized. But look at the stuff you wear, bruh.
First came Teresa Weatherspoon, a legend forced to pack her bags and walk away as steroid allegations loomed over the franchise. Allegations so toxic they made her say, "Nope, not for me." And honestly, who could blame her? Nobody wants to stick around in the middle of that kind of chaos.
Can't teach that. I'm going to go out and do whatever it takes to win, and every single night. My teammates rely on my energy. So being able to continue the energy, even if we're down, even if we're up, that's what I do.
And then there's Kennedy Carter, a rising star who saw the writing on the wall and decided the league just wasn't for her anymore. Angel Reese had the talent and the future ahead of her, but chasing a little extra cash turned those skills into dust. Chicago, once on top, has now crumbled under the weight of ego, drama, and bad decisions.
And I'm assuming that wasn't the topic. She just seemed to be uncomfortable with him because he's telling the truth.
Since Chicago's downfall, fans have felt a deep emptiness. The team that once inspired hope is now just a shadow of what it used to be, leaving everyone to wonder if that fire will ever return. And let's be honest, this is the moment supporters start scratching their heads, questioning if this chaos is destined to be part of Angel Reese's legacy. After all, why build a career on talent when you can have people talking about everything else instead?
What a year. I never could have imagined last bucket of my rookie season would be a 3. But maybe God's saying give them a taste of what they'll be seeing more of in year 2, LOL.
It all began with an outfit, a pair of shorts and a crop top, that left many shaking their heads in disappointment. Angel Reese, once celebrated for her tenacity and unrelenting drive on the basketball court, seemed to veer off course with a choice that didn't reflect the role model she had become for countless young athletes. The real letdown wasn't just the outfit itself, but the missed opportunity to stand tall and remind the world that her true value lies in her skill, passion, and undeniable presence as a leader in women's basketball. Naturally, the world didn't hold back, as comments poured in from every corner accusing her of disrespecting the sport with her fashion choice.
Who has a new weekly podcast called Unapologetically Angel. Because I would have been like, how naive can you be? But she is young. She's only 22. And the reality is the scrutiny that she's been subjected to is inexcusable. It's egregious. It's disgusting. It's wrong.
The disappointment ran deep, as supporters who once cheered Angel Reese every step of the way began questioning her judgment. This wasn't the Reese they had come to admire. The one who had been a beacon of hope in women's sports, a symbol of breaking barriers and shattering stereotypes. Watching her make a choice that invited scrutiny and overshadowed her accomplishments felt like watching a hero stumble right before their eyes.
No one's coming out to see crazy-ass Angel Reese unless they want to see her at a nightclub shaking her ass.
The disappointment only deepened as whispers grew louder, turning into accusations far more damaging than any debate over her wardrobe. Angel Reese, long admired for her physical prowess and relentless tenacity on the court, suddenly found herself at the center of baseless claims. Trolls, desperate to tear her down, began tossing around the word steroids, questioning the authenticity of her achievements and casting doubt on the very foundation of her success.
The addiction is real. The addiction to attention is real.
People soon began to question Angel Reese's performance on the court, not because she lacked skill, but because of her undeniable dominance. Trolls insinuated that her success couldn't possibly be natural, suggesting her strength and endurance must have a darker explanation. "She's got to be on something," read one particularly vicious comment. Instead of being celebrated, her physique, stamina, and relentless energy were now scrutinized, dissected, and doubted.
Angel Reese, you can't beat a big bad wolf, but then kind of cry like Courage the Cowardly Dog. Nobody mourns when the villain catches a L. And Angel Reese, you have self-proclaimed to be the...
And how could they not be? When someone shines so brightly, people naturally question whether it's the light of pure hard work or the artificial glow of something more sinister. Reese had always been an extraordinary athlete, but now her achievements were being clouded by these allegations. Fans wanted answers. Was it dedication, or was it steroids? For those who once believed in her and cheered her on, it was a bitter pill to swallow, as the accusations felt like a betrayal of trust and a stain on the pride she once brought to the game.
Hot water after he made some strong comments about Angel Reese. Guys, this story is crazy.
The rivalry with Caitlin Clark only intensified the storm, adding fuel to the fire. Clark, often hailed as the golden girl of basketball, was seen as composed and hardworking, standing in stark contrast to Angel Reese, who was painted as brash and attention-seeking. What began as a clash of styles on the court evolved into a clash of values, with Clark's fans quick to weaponize Reese's controversies to elevate their favorite's supposed superiority. She could learn a thing or two from Caitlin. You don't see her out here making headlines for the wrong reasons, one tweet read. The comparisons were relentless, and though not entirely fair, they struck a painful chord. Reese, once unstoppable, now looked distracted, caught up in drama rather than the game. The spotlight that once celebrated her talent had shifted to her choices, and that, perhaps, was the greatest tragedy of all.
Angel Reese told her lonely male followers, hating pays too. Translation, I need attention. Translation, I need money. Translation, nothing about me is authentic. Translation, I cannot be a star on my own.
The most shocking twist came with a wild speculation about Angel Reese's future. Critics, emboldened by the controversies, began suggesting she was veering down a path far removed from basketball. The comments grew cruel, with some claiming she was one step away from OnlyFans, while others sneered that she should quit basketball and start modeling. These remarks were harsh and devastating, yet her recent choices made some wonder if there was a grain of truth buried in the exaggeration. Her focus appeared to have shifted in ways that didn't align with her role as an athlete and leader. Instead of inspiring conversations about her skills, she was fueling debates about decency and professionalism. What happened to the Angel Reese who once let her game do all the talking?
She's dropping new episodes to her podcast, Unapologetically Angel, and yet again, she's using Caitlin Clark's name for clicks.
It's heartbreaking to watch. Angel Reese was once poised to be a trailblazer, not only excelling in her sport but elevating it. But instead she has become a lightning rod for controversy, much of it seemingly self-inflicted. From provocative clothing choices to whispers of performance enhancement to an apparent obsession with staying in the spotlight, her actions send the message that talent alone isn't enough. And that's the tragedy, because her talent is undeniable. For her fans, the disappointment has turned to frustration. How many young athletes would kill for the opportunities Reese has? How many would cherish the platform she seems to be squandering, trading respect for notoriety and substance for spectacle? People wanted to see her remembered as one of the greats, but now they wonder if she'll simply become another cautionary tale. The ripple effect makes it worse. Her actions don't just affect her. They affect everyone who once looked up to her, everyone who believed in her. Young girls who saw her as a role model now see someone more concerned with her image than her impact. Parents who pointed to her as an example of hard work and perseverance are left scrambling for explanations. And the sport itself, which desperately needs figures like Reese to grow and thrive, takes another painful hit in its ongoing fight for respect and equality.
I've been through so much. I've seen so much. I've been attacked so many times.
Angel Reese could have been so much more, the player who changed the game, the leader who inspired a generation. Instead, she has become a source of controversy and disappointment. It isn't too late for her to turn things around, but the question lingers, does she want to, or has she already decided that being talked about, no matter the reason, is enough? The fall of a star is never easy to watch, especially when that star had the potential to redefine her sport and inspire millions. Reese wasn't just a basketball player. She was once a symbol of hope, resilience, and achievement. But somewhere along the way, that narrative shifted. Now, instead of being celebrated for her incredible talent, she's the subject of whispers, rumors, and disdain, much of it tied to choices that feel like betrayals to those who once looked up to her. When Reese first stepped into the spotlight, she radiated pride and determination, owning the court with undeniable dominance and a fiery personality that gave women's basketball a star it desperately needed. But then came the missteps, the decisions that transformed admiration into disappointment. Confidence and unapologetic individuality can inspire, but when blurred with poor judgment, they can just as easily destroy. Take her controversial outfit on Wild 'N Out, for example. In a world where athletes are scrutinized constantly, every decision carries weight. Reese knew she was a public figure, yet chose to wear something that, while harmless on its own, ignited a wildfire of criticism. To many, it symbolized a trade, hard-earned respect for fleeting attention. And that's the most heartbreaking part. Angel Reese doesn't need gimmicks. She has the talent, the platform, and the potential to inspire through her game alone. So why step willingly into a storm she could have so easily avoided?